Hi everyone, Samsung has finally unveiled the Galaxy A22. Its price hasn't been confirmed yet, but A22's cost is estimated to slot somewhere in between the Galaxy M12 and the Galaxy M32. My guess is that it will cost around 14,000 Indian rupees for the base 464GB variant. Here, the Galaxy A22 shares a lot of similarities with the more expensive Galaxy M32, but Samsung has made subtle changes to differentiate this one from the company's M series of smartphones. I have been using the Galaxy A22 for a couple of hours now, and the first distinction that you will notice between the M32 and the A22 is in the design front. While Galaxy's M series of smartphones usually have this boring look, Samsung puts a little more effort into its relatively premium A series devices. Here too, the Galaxy A22 is reminiscent of the more expensive Galaxy A52 and the A72. And personally, I love this design and the color options on a budget phone. The camera module here is also more refined and modern looking, while also maintaining a better hands-on feel as well. Galaxy A22 is relatively light with a smaller 5000 mAh battery, whereas the M32 brings a bigger 6000 mAh cell. Likewise, A22 also features a side-mounted fingerprint sensor, and as expected, it performs like a champ. Just above it is the volume rockers. The left side stays mostly clean except for the dual SIM plus micro SD tray. Down below, you get a single speaker setup, a headphone jack, and the USB-C charging port. Okay, on top of the design, the biggest difference between the two phones lies in the display side of things. Disappointingly, the Galaxy A22 features an HD screen in contrast to the full HD display on the M32. Although this difference in resolution is not that evident under regular usage, upon a closer inspection, I did notice that text appears sharper on the Galaxy M32. The panel type is still Super AMOLED, so colors and contrast look equally good on both phones. Also, Samsung has retained the 90Hz refresh rate for a smoother scrolling experience on a cheaper device like this one. As far as my experience goes, Samsung seems to have optimized it quite well, but as with most budget phones, you get this jitter while scrolling through the Google Discover feed. Anyway, the display is Widevine L1 certified too, so you will be able to stream Netflix and Amazon Prime content in HD resolution. Overall, even though the Galaxy A22 has a passable display for everyday usage, I think Samsung has unnecessarily cut corners in terms of the screen's brightness, as Full HD resolution should have been the obvious choice here. And oh, I almost forgot about this U-shaped notch approach, which looks a little outdated on both the Galaxy M32 and the A22. So if you're someone who's coming from a phone with a punch hole implementation, this notch will definitely feel out of style. Okay, over to the performance department. You get MediaTek's Helio G80 chipset here, just like on the Galaxy M32. Now, because the A22 is expected to launch at a comparatively cheaper price, this chipset somehow makes sense on this phone. Normal usage has not been a problem so far, and games like PUBG Mobile run considerably smoothly at 40 FPS under smooth graphics and ultra frame rates. Still, Samsung could have given something like the Helio G95 or the Snapdragon 678 for even better performance. Having said that, I guess the use of Helio G80 chipset over and over by Samsung on its mid-range devices also has a lot to do with the ongoing global chipset shortage. Now, I know that the chipset shortage has hit other brands too, but unlike other companies, Samsung launches its products globally, like on a large scale, meaning that the Galaxy A22 will launch in relatively more markets than, say, Xiaomi or Realme, whose products don't enjoy such worldwide releases. But excuses aside, performance has never been Samsung's strongest suit in the budget and mid-range segment, and I guess that is not the kind of audience the company is targeting with this phone to begin with. I can say that because even with my limited time with this phone, I have been impressed with its cameras. Spec-wise, you get a 48 megapixel primary sensor and an 8 megapixel ultra-wide-angle lens, followed by two 2 megapixel depth and macro cameras. Additionally, the Galaxy A22 also features OIS, which isn't present on the Galaxy M32. I did manage to go around and click a few pictures and found the A22 doing a better job than the M32 in terms of color optimization. Here, the M32 produces saturated output while the A22 tones it down, making the images look more pleasing. Similarly, with the Galaxy A22, I noticed no focus issues, while the M32 did struggle to lock focus in some instances. In terms of portraits too, as evident from these photos, the A22 produces better skin tone and manages to process dark areas better than the Galaxy M32. Same goes with the selfies, where the A22 has slightly better processing capabilities. Okay, during low lighting conditions as well, the Galaxy A22 manages to stand out ever so slightly with its tad bit better details and sharpness, all thanks to the OIS. Similarly, you get better video capabilities on the A22 as well, with stabilized and 1080p 30fps videos from both the front and back cameras. However, do note that just like the Galaxy M32, videos here are capped out at 1080p 30fps and you cannot shoot videos in 4K resolution or 60fps mode. This basically is due to the limitation of Helio G80 rather than the camera sensor itself. Okay, besides the good camera capabilities, Samsung's One UI is another show stealer. This phone runs on One UI Core version 3.1 and feels quite well optimized. However, I do wish that Samsung had opted for UFS 2.1 or 2.2 storage protocol over the aging eMMC standard, which has slower read and write speeds. And because of that, apps open slower and installing them takes a bit of time. Alright, now let's finally talk about the battery. As I mentioned earlier, in order to maintain a slimmer form factor, Samsung has trimmed the battery size to 5000 mAh here, while most of its M series of smartphones enjoy a larger 6000 mAh battery. Still, you can enjoy good if not great battery endurance from the Galaxy A22. Yet, the phone only supports 15-watt charging, unlike the Galaxy M32 that supports 25-watt fast charging too. In conclusion, I think with the Galaxy A22 and the Galaxy M32, Samsung is providing different choices to its customers. What I mean by that is, while both of these phones yield similar performance, one has better looks and OIS-enabled cameras, while the other hosts a better screen and battery endurance. But given the cheaper price of the Galaxy A22, I believe it's a better value than the Galaxy M32, considering that the only downside here is its HD screen, which isn't that bad given the fact that it's a Samsung-made AMOLED panel. So that was all for our initial impressions of the Samsung Galaxy A22. We will soon come out with the full reviews of the A22 as well as the Galaxy M32, so stay tuned for that. Till then, I'm Pratima and thank you so much for watching.